Oh man, Earthworm Jim 2 was a pretty damn frustrating game. It still is. I gotta say, it's a little less frustrating than the first game, but it's still pretty damn frustrating. It's not so much frustrating as it's tedious, and it takes a couple, maybe 3 or 4 runs, probably. Well, depends on how good you are at games like this, but if you know what you're doing, probably like 3 or 4 runs to beat it on just the normal difficulty. The reason for that being that there's a lot of variety, but some of the variety is tedious, and quite a bit of the game is just like, you know, what the fuck? There's actually a password system, which is really weird, and I had to look it up because I didn't know what the fuck you're supposed to do. But yeah, there are passwords in this game, but you don't really have to grab one to beat it. You just need to not suck. It's actually more fun to play through it without the passwords anyway, because if you have the passwords, then it's like there's only like 8 stages, so why would you even bother? So this pig, you gotta like put him in the thing so the goldfish doesn't kill you. It's really stupid. And this bubble gun is worthless also. It's just there to piss you off. There's also these 3 items that I thought were just there to piss you off. They're like they're like pictures of flags for whatever fucking reason. But actually, oh, you're not supposed to go this way. But actually, they're not flags. They're the passwords. That's how you get the passwords, which doesn't really make any sense, but whatever. And this whole little old lady chair thing, which is the most memorable part of this game, even though I fucked it up. This is the first couple levels are the most memorable part of this game. The second half is like, I don't want to say it's forgettable, but it takes a lot of work to get there, and so I tend to forget. The first few stages in this game, since I tried it so much as a kid, what the fuck's wrong with me? The first 3 or 4 stages are like embedded in my brain, and then it sort of gets fuzzy. Oh yeah, there's just a picture of Jaws on the wall, but why? Why Jaws? It makes... What the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what is it? A lot of the humor in this game is just random, but it's not random for any. It's just random to be. It was like 90s TGI Fridays random shit on the wall random. There's also this move called the snot swing, which is he's using his mucus to grab on stuff, which it's really hard to do at first, but then it's easy. But it's like the whip move. Oh, so this bonus is gives you, I think, an extra life. There's also just like an extra continue just laying in the middle of the pathway on this level, and that's a little odd. You're actually pushing left and right to slow this down or speed it up, so that's what the challenge is, but once you know the pattern, it's kind of difficult to screw up. Now, if you grab that extra life, you have to go all the way back. Oh! Never mind. I missed it. It's not really necessary anyway. There's only like 2 stages where you can die at all until the end. In the end, the end is really hard. Even with practice, it's pretty tough, but the rest of the stages are just... If you know what to do, it's pretty easy. There's some cheap deaths. Okay, that's a continue, so it's just like laying there. And there's also weapons in this. There's new weapons, like there's a chimney gun, I guess? I don't know. It shoots houses. Okay. And that's cool that you can switch the guns out also, so it's drastically improved from the first game. In the first game, you only get 2 guns, and one of them there's just an electric chair. This level's called Anything But Tangerines, and I guess it's supposed to be like everything but the kitchen sink, like it's a joke, but it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, it's like, I guess the joke is that it's just everything. In the first game, it was a junkyard, and this feels like the same thing. This also just feels like a junkyard, even though it's not. It's a bit like a Tim Burton regurgitated vomit. It's like the underworld in Beetlejuice or something. I don't know. The sandworm area in Beetlejuice. It's very, very 90s looking. The only thing I don't really like about this game is that there's not really a lot of bosses, and the bosses are all, like, mostly crappy anyway. The first game had cooler, more challenging bosses that you really had to kind of put an effort in. This game, all the bosses, you just shoot them for the most part. There's no tricks or anything, so the combat in the first game was a lot better. And the first stage, this is what it is. You eat the goldfish. That's actually the boss in the first game on the 3rd level. So it's not even like... That's a Mortal Kombat reference too, I think. I don't remember. Oh, and then the cows. This game has like a weird cow fetish. Oh yeah, I forgot about this stage, Lorenzen's Soil. It's a parody of a movie called Lorenzo's Oil, which is so fucking random. But when you actually listen to the music in this game, it's actually I believe it's got like the fugue and like really like Italian style music, so it makes sense that there's a level called Lorenzo's Soil, because I think Lorenzo's Oil is an Italian film, which is all really weird. But speaking of which, the music in this game fucking rules. The music in this game is some of the best music on the Super Nintendo. It's like classical a lot of it's classical renditions of songs, but they're just really well done. And the fidelity of the audio is really good too. So there's ants coming out of the wall holding babies. Basically what you need to do on this level is you shoot the... When I was a kid, I thought this was the coolest shit ever. You never saw anything like this on the Super Nintendo. In fact, I don't think there's any other Super Nintendo that does game that does anything like this, that you can shoot it and it appears on the floor like that. And it's cool that there's a lot of variety in this game, but unfortunately, despite the fact that it's varied, the elements of the levels are usually really... Like, you're usually doing one thing on every level. Like, on this level, all you're doing is shooting the soil and climbing upwards. It's like... It's almost like a series of mini-games. Until the last 2 or 3 levels that are just straight-up Earthworm Jim-type levels. And there's actually a boss on this level, and he's the hardest boss that you shoot at, because he just sucks. He's just like, he's essentially a, well, I guess it's a larva. It's an ant larva. I don't know. Although Earthworm Jim is a worm. And so then the next few stages after this completely just go fucking bonkers. They're the weirdest stages in, I think, any platforming game. Pretty close. They're just so fucking bizarre that it's almost like, what the fuck am I looking at half the time? But yeah, there's a time limit, but because the level is so easy, you don't really need it. It's those, you pick up those clocks, and that's just it. You just pick up the clocks, and it's fuck all, I guess. I don't know. I guess they're timepieces. I don't know. If you can get through the first half of this game without losing any lives, then it's pretty much you're guaranteed to finish it, because you gotta continue anyway. But the continues are really random in this game. You just find them all over the place. No, that sandwich there gives you, I don't know how to get to it. It would be really good to get that, because that doubles your health. Let me try this. Nope. Screw it. That would have been really good to grab, but you get one on the next level too. But it would have been good to get for the boss, because the boss sucks. You also can't... I don't even know what the fuck that is. Why is an ant carrying a baby? It doesn't even... I don't get it. I hope that there's a health item. But yeah, unfortunately, even though this is a really fun game, it's just tedious because every level is just like you're doing the same thing over and over again. So it would be better than the first game if it wasn't. Well, there's a lot of tedium in the first game too, to be honest. But this one's more tedious to me. So it's more varied in terms of the ideas, but I don't know if you can hear this song, but this song fucking rocks too. Well, now I got 98 health, so this guy should be easy. Basically, what you gotta do is just shoot at him, but for some reason, he just deals a lot of damage to you, so the easiest way to actually kill him is to shoot him off screen, which seems so ridiculous, but it's the only way to do it. And what really sucks is after this you get to what is considered a bonus stage, but it's actually very fucking difficult, and it's not a bonus stage.
Well done. Well done.
It's not a bonus stage and you don't get anything special, I don't know. But it's horrible.